Welcome to the Mindset Mechanics Podcast with Juan and Ladybug Jenkins. It's not too late to find, face, and fix what's stalling you. The shop is open, so pull on in.
Welcome to Mechanical Monday. You are in the shop. I am Ladybug Jenkins, your mindset mechanic, here to remind you that you can find, face, and fix what is stalling you. And when you do that, acceleration is inevitable. Yes, I am driving solo today, but have no fear. Jay will be back with us in the shop shortly. So, in today's episode, I want to talk to you briefly, but hopefully impactfully, about the wrong exit. And that is the title, if you need one, The Wrong Exit. So, the subtitle is The Dangers of Giving Up and or Settling. So, most people, well, anyone who drives, you know what an exit is. If you're traveling on a highway, we use the analogy of driving a lot because it's familiar either as a driver or as a passenger. So the formal definition of an exit is a way out or the physical act of going out or leaving. So, of course, when you're driving, you're on a highway, you have all of these exits. And you can be in a room full of people, you can be in a situation, you can be in school, you can be in a romantic relationship, an employment relationship, and you can leave. You can make your exit. We talk a lot about making exits here on the show, but in this context, we are talking about a wrong exit. And if you want to be very specific, an early exit. So if you're traveling and you're driving home, most likely, if you travel on a highway, most likely there are several exits that you can take and still make it to your house. So when there's traffic, when there's accidents, if you're familiar, with your area, you can choose a different exit and you will still get home. It will probably just take you a little longer. You may have to, make a few more turns, things like that, but you can still get to where you are going. So we are going to talk about Dee Dee. And Dee Dee is moving. She has gotten a new job. She is very excited. She wraps up all the loose ends in her home state. She packs up her vehicle and she makes her way to the new town, the new city, the new job. She is very excited. And along the way, she starts to encounter a lot of traffic. Now, Dee Dee already has her route mapped out. Nowadays, we have GPS. If there's any kind of traffic or something, it will reroute you. But back in the day, you would either have a paper map, you would print out a map, you would go to AAA, and you would get those trip ticks that they would print out for you to take you to where you were going. And then some people these days, they still like the challenge and the knowledge of not having the GPS tell them every single turn. They still like to watch the traffic patterns, pay attention to the exits. They like to read, what's going on around them. So in any event, Dee Dee is traveling and she runs into traffic. And she has, this agenda in her head. She wants to get to the new place by a certain time. Then she's going to go grocery shopping. She's going to deep clean, and she has it all mapped out. And then she sees all of this traffic and she sees another exit that has the name of her town on it, the new town that she's going to. And so she finally decides, this traffic is too thick. I'm going to go ahead and exit, and I am going to find my way to the new town that way. So she does it. She gets off the highway. She has to stop for gas anyway. She asks a couple of locals to give her some directions. And after a couple of extra turns and an extra 15, 20 minutes, she does find her way to the new house. And she is so excited. She gets settled in, does her cleaning, her shopping, all of those things. And she goes on about her life. And she is very happy in the new job, happy in the new city, all of that. Then the holidays come, and she is going to go back to her old town to visit her family. And of course, she's super excited. She loves the new life. but she misses her friends and family. So again, she jumps in the car. She only packs a few things this time, and she goes back the way that she was supposed to come initially. And there is no traffic. Work is out, a lot of people are off work for the holidays, school is out, so the traffic is light. She doesn't have to take any extra turn, the different exits. She is on her way back the way that she came, and she starts to notice things along the way. She sees a nursery, and she sees the exact trees that she wanted for the yard at her new house. And then she keeps driving, and she sees the gourmet coffee shop. And when she inquires, they have the exact coffee that she has to order from a specialty shop across the country and have them ship it to her when there was one driving distance from her new house that she never saw. She sees a vintage clothing shop, which is a thing of hers. She sees a farmer's market. She loves fresh fruits and vegetables, and she didn't know that all these things were within an hour's drive of her new house because she was in such a hurry that she took the wrong exit. She exited too early, and she missed all of these things. And I use that story because that is what we do in life. We have a goal, we have a plan, but as soon as there's any kind of slowdown, as soon as there's anything that we think might be hindering us, there is anything that is getting in our way because we're so rigid and we have that it can only work out one way because the plan we had is taking too long, even though the plan was perfectly fine. We sat down, we mapped it out. We wrote down any directions we needed. We figured out how many times we'd have to stop for gas. The plan was good. The plan was fine. But once we get into the thick of it and we face something that we were not expecting, we will actually exit early, and we don't realize that we are missing out on something. We don't realize that we are settling for something else. We don't realize that we are quitting. And sometimes the plan is not just about where you're going, because like I talked about earlier, there's probably 3 exits you can take to get to your house. If you're at work or you're at school, you probably have 3 to 5 different ways that you can use to get to your house in relatively the same amount of time. But sometimes it is the things that we are supposed to pick up along the way. It's not just where we're going. There are things we're supposed to pick up along the way. There's information. There's skills, there's people. So we don't know about the people at the gourmet coffee shop, the people at the nursery, the people at the vintage store. We don't know what might have benefited Dee Dee along that way had she just stuck to the plan and not given up so easily, not given up so early, not quit, not settled, and just said, you know what, I'm just going to take this way. It's going to be a little quicker. I'm just going to take this way. I'm going to get off early. It can be a form of settling. It's an analogy for quitting, for settling, for not doing all of the steps, for not doing everything you said you were going to do because you became impatient. Because the plan was solid, it was just taking a little longer than you initially thought. So you start rushing, you start giving up, you start quitting, you exit early. And a very wise man just said to me in a teaching, it is always too early to quit. And that is going to stick with me for the rest of my life. It is always too early to quit. It is never time to quit. So if you know that you have made a good plan, you've gone to God in prayer, He's in charge of this situation. He has told you to go to this new city. He has told you to take this job. He has instructed you. He's guided you. Even if it's taking longer than you think, stay where you are. Keep going. Execute the plan that was written out. Execute the plan that was made. Do not exit early. Do not miss what you were supposed to gather along the way. So Proverbs 3 And chapter 5 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. And some versions say he will direct your path. If you know that you're partnering with God with what you're doing, it's okay if it takes longer than you think. There's always a gap of time between the promise and when it manifests. Your job is to stick to the plan, to execute the plan, to do what you're supposed to do, to trust God. And even if it takes longer than you thought, even if it seems like there's too much traffic, even if it seems like the conditions are becoming unfavorable, do not exit early. Do not quit. Do not settle. It is always too early to quit. And that is what I wanted to share. And that is what I have in my rear view. It is always too early to quit, meaning it is always too early to abort the plan, to exit the plan. That is what is in my rear view on that. And that is what I wanted to share. So tune in next Mechanical Monday, where Jay will be riding along with us, and we will be sharing more ways that you can find, face, and fix what is stalling you. And when you do that, acceleration is inevitable. I trust that this little story helped, and I will see you next Mechanical Monday. Ladybug Jenkins is out.
Thanks for stopping by the shop. Tune in next Mechanical Monday so you can get the tools to find, face, and fix your mindset and accelerate your life.